So, would you believe that a couple hours after I uploaded my introduction video, these guys arrived? Okay, so a couple of hours after I published my video, my doorbell rang. I opened my door and boom, all my packages are there. So, instead of making my review on the Plush that I was planning to, I thought of doing a mini review on my recent pickups. So without further ado, let's get started. First, we have the Toy Island Tails bendy figure. As you hear in the title, this is not an articulated figure, but instead a bendy figure, meaning it has wires in its arms and legs, making it bend, which at the time, for Sonic, there weren't a lot of bendy figures out there, but of course, now we have that specific. Anyway, onto the figure. Tails' sculpt looks very nice, and all details are there. His pose is a pretty standard pose, with his hands out. His paint job is alright, the inside of his ears did have details but wasn't painted in. And in artwork, at the time, there was a color transition inside the ears. Also, I'd rather prefer his mouth be colored grey or black, I think that would look better. And also, Tails' buckle is there, but it's not painted in. At the bottom of Tails' shoe, it says, wow, it's hard to see. I got this, it says, Copyright 2000 Sega, meaning that it's a Sonic Revenge release of these and not the later Sonic X versions. But now, how's the bendability? It's really good. His arms and legs bend really well, but I'd recommend not to bend them too much because the wires might snap. I usually keep these and all my other figures in standard poses. Here I would usually talk about the item's worth, but for this video it's not really important. That's all I have to say, so let's move on. Next is the Sega Toy Sonic X figure. These figures came out in 2003 along with a plush set to promote the television show Sonic X. The figure's sculpt looks great and looks exactly like the artwork it was referencing. Yeah, there's not much I'll say about it other than, wow, that's a really accurate Sonic X figure. I guess when the figure came, I didn't expect it to be so small. It's standing at 1.5 inches compared to the other Sonic figures I own, usually standing at 3 to 4 inches. I really don't have much to say about the figures, so let's move on to the plushes. Next is the Haribo plush made by Pan Presto in 1993. The plush is really cool. All details are there and his helmet and hammer are very well executed into the plush. The plush is very soft and materials feel very nice. He has giant plastic eyes like other Pan Presto plushes at the time, and he is in a very chibi style. This is a really good plush and I recommend it. Next is my personal highlight here, being the Tomy 25th Anniversary Classic Sonic plush. Before I get to the plush, I want to talk about how I got this. Okay, so recently a lot of Jazzwares and Tomy figures and plushes have been showing up on eBay and AliExpress. They seem to be factory stock of those plushes. For example, there was a listing on AliExpress for a Midnight Colored Collector Series Classic Sonic factory sample. By the time I found it, it's sold. But on eBay, a seller from China puts up plushes on eBay from factories they most likely worked in. And they were saying a Jazzwares Sonic plush, a Tomy 25th medium Sonic plush, and a smaller one. I was planning on buying all 3 of them, but Jazzwares Sonic sold out. But I did get the other 2. For the medium Sonic, the picture showed it with a Sonic Boom Tush tag, but the one I got had a regular tag. Same with the smaller one. Now onto the plushes. In terms of patterns, they're pretty much the same, except the small one's stomach does look a lot more round than the final plush. The difference is the colour of their fur. I don't know if it's just me, but the medium plush looks a bit more lighter than the final, and the small plush looks a lot more darker than the final, and also it has some unfinished stitching. Now, because these are from China and is factory stock, I'm going to assume that these are factory samples, like the Midnight Classic Sonic and the Pearl Turquoise. The dark blue and light blue Sonic Boom emoji plushes. Sorry, I'm specific with colours. The plushes still use the same materials, with the small one using a crushed velvet material. Other than that, there's nothing else to say, so let's move on. Next is the Studiopolis Sonic plush. This plush is really cool because it's based off Sonic design. Oh yeah, it's based off the Sonic Adventure 2 plush. Whatever. This was the first Yahoo Japan auction I won, so this is kind of special to me. The other one I won as of writing this has been auctioned. All my other Japan stuff were bought from Akari. That's all I have to say about it. It looks extremely nice and cool, and I really like the tag. In an actual JRS review on a plush set or toy line, I would usually go more in depth on the merchandise I'm talking about, but this is just a recent pickups review. This is the end of the video. I hope you guys liked this review. Be sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and here comes the outro screen.